Uh, I hit the point of like I'm ready for a nap.
Mm, I can eat on a full stomach, so I ate plenty of this morning. I'm still hungry.
Well, I warned my mother, if you ever come to the house, she has to cook for an army. And she's like, yeah, I'll just make chili or something.
Gotta make plenty of it.
Diet Danger makes me think of Ron Swanson and the time that he goes into the diner. He's like, and the guy asks what he wants. He's like, I want all the eggs that you have in the kitchen. And the guy's just like, okay, it's just leaving. And Ron's like, hold on. I don't think you quite heard me. I'm pretty sure you heard, give me a lot of eggs. But what I said was, I want all the eggs you have in the kitchen.
Yep, that's me.
Some great stuff. But all right. But yeah. Any other updates?
I don't know. You guys wanted me to draw something. What would it be next? That's all I want to know.
A new cover photo for the Guild of Brockheart.
Okay.
If you want to put Ahkasai in the background, that'd be pretty dope.
I'll think about the background after I think about the characters.
That works.
Everybody just send me the details on how your characters look and everything. Sven, you especially.
My character's look is about to change if everything goes the way I want it to, so I'll have to let you know once I get it.
Yep, let me know. Sven, you gotta nervous swearing. You gotta let me know how Sven looks in this campaign. Detailed text.
Detailed text.
I wish to look sort of similar to myself, maybe little horns, and just like acting as like a puppet master.
Strings going down.
Bork, we have a running tradition of putting in a DM's character as his representative. So far, I have Diane as, Man Bear's rep in the cover art for his campaign.
True.
I got Villain as my rep. Do you have a bad guy?
Not a new one. No, I haven't.
You don't have an overarching bad guy?
No, because technically the way I've been thinking about this is you guys haven't, like, you're playing an MMO and you guys haven't even hit level 20 yet, so you're still in like in WoW terms, like you passed the tutorial, but like you're not too far in.
Yeah.
I haven't played WoW, but like the story that probably is not gonna kick off quite yet.
Plus,
Maybe.
MMOs don't really have big overarching bad guys. They have lots of bad guys.
Yeah.
Bad guy.
And it's also, depending on how you play, the bad guy is different for each person.
If you had an arc bad guy in mind, I could do that. Otherwise, I can't just put you in with devil horns.
I mean, technically, I am the bad guy.
You are kind of a dick.
All right.
I am causing all the I am fighting you all the time.
I could get you in there. I can make something for you. But Sven particularly, I definitely need to know what your demeanor is, because I want to draw an expression. I'm big on expressions. I gotta get the energy for the character just right.
Right. I mean, I'm starting to get a feel for this character, so that should be coming soon.
Cool. All right, you guys do that when you have time.
See, I don't know if you were gonna add it, but if you want to add the entire party on the way to like the entire traveling party that you have towards Ahkasai. I mean, Bruce looks like Bruce. Talk to Gnome Face about, or just shoot me a text if you want me to come up with a facial thing. You have Colton. Bartholomew's a monk with a bow staff, but just jacked. And then you have Tonya, who's kind of like, all I can say is like keeps to herself, elegant and fierce.
I kind of imagine Tonya being like a jacked chick. Pulling that drawstring real hard,
See, I wouldn't say jacked, but like incredibly toned. Like when she draws back, you see every muscle, but they're not like bulging out of her arm.
All right. Well, I don't know if I'm going to draw the whole traveling party, but I definitely want to get the core cast in, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I'd say like that would be more of a background. Like if you had like the main thing, you'd have Gale, Sven, Gnome Face in the middle, and then like you'd have like the other people in the corners, and like me over the top with Ahkasai in the background.
I'll keep it in consideration. I do plan on getting this all on printer size sheet of paper, but I might have to level it up a little bit for all that.
Grab a couple A4s, that's fine. Maybe an Arch D. do you know what an Arch D is?
I don't know what
It's
that is, but
it's like the size of that one campaign that you did.
These, I got quite a few of them.
Yeah, that's I think Arch B. No, Arch D is like the 76 by like 54 or something. They're the ones that my drawings are on. They're like they're the ones that are in the roll because you need a full table to roll them out.
Oh, you mean the ones that you printed out for me? I
No,
got those. I had those all rolled out on my table. I was trying to draw something earlier. It's just nothing was clicking, man.
I think so. The ones I got you are 11 by 17s. Arch D. Oh, shit, I forget how many it is, but like there's a when you go through the steppage of like the letters, the page size, like you start with like A1 or letter, and like Arch A is like 4 of those, and then like Arch C is like 16 of those. Arch D is like 32 letter size papers all as one. I forget the actual like scaling of it.
This all sounds like nomenclature to me.
It is.
Wilhelm has a picture now.
Oh my god.
Perfect, right?
Guess.
Where do I see this? Where'd you post it?
General.
Wrong one.
That's pretty much how I imagined Wilhelm. Perpetually, just in a state of screaming. Just he's quieter sometimes.
Yeah, that sounds
I
about
mean,
right.
especially outside of that troll cave, I feel like that is the expression of that entire encounter.
We're just like fighting the boss. All these trolls, there's like music playing in the background, but louder than the music, it's just a scream constantly.
One long, uninterrupted scream. Yeah,
No
that's how I
breath.
pictured it. Wilhelm's got lungs.
The boss music's just like a quiet whisper in the background over it.
Yeah. Okay. So, shall we get started?
Shall we?
I believe we shall.
I am ready.
It shall be done.
All right. Do you hear an echo from me?
No.
No.
Cool.
No.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the Guild of Brockheart. Brought to you by AED&D. We're on episode 16, I believe. Yeah, sounds about right. Around there. And so a couple announcements beforehand. So we will be playing next week. The week after is when I'll be out of town on Friday. So we could do either Sunday or like the following Wednesday, because I also will be out of town for the following 2 weeks after that. I thought I was going to like be home this week, be gone next week, be home the week after that, and then be gone for 2 weeks, but actually I'm home for 2 weeks in a row and then gone for 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, we'll have to work that out. Sunday sounds good though.
So that would be the 16th. Unless we do that Wednesday. Unless you want to do that Sunday and then the Wednesday. And just do a short session before I head out, because I'm leaving that Thursday. So that's that. Yeah, we were just talking that Donnie's making more pictures. Gonna have to figure out make him a catalog or a website or something. Sometime in the future, why not? A portfolio. That's the professional way of saying it.
Yeah, that is the word for it.
Other than that, any other announcements from you two?
Mine's not until May. Can't play May 26th, I think it is.
I'll be gone that weekend too. That's Memorial Day weekend. That's a pass. Otherwise, there's storms going on, so I hope we don't hear tornado sirens down by me.
I've got a pretty bad thunderstorm up here.
But
Just passing by me.
other than that, you guys want to get started?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
You sure?
Now that you ask, I'm not sure. Second guessing myself. Yes, let's get started.
I was just say, take another drink and I'll ask you again. So, last time on the Guild of Brockheart, our adventurers woke up in the morning getting a nice moist spray and air flowing over the top of them as they realized they were on a cliff that overlooked the waterfall leaving the mountains towards Ahkasai. And one by one, and then as a group, they experienced and witnessed like the power of the kingdom of Ahkasai, and the fact that they were the sole reason the trade route was able to go through the mountain, because they literally just hired people and trained them to lift and lower the boats up and down the waterfall, respectively. So that got Gnome Face a little, gave him a little pep in his step. Gale was surprised, but there's a task at hand. And Sven managed to climb down as a, precarious plant caught his eye and was able to add it, and I think he ate it, part of it?
Just a nibble.
A nibble, okay.
Nothing reckless, just a nibble.
Other than that, yeah, so they ended up headed down the mountain, and they reached more of a gradual transition, but when they got to the bottom, the fertile lands of the mountain and the rain that it has kind of disappeared, and now they're walking on sand, although they're on the beaten path by far because they're walking along the river, so quite a bit of fertile land around by them. But it started getting very hot, humid and dry at the same time because of, the river didn't provide too much humidity, but it was still there. And then yeah, it was really hot. Gnome Face pranked Gale once again with the water elemental, but it was actually well received as Gale was roasting and I'm pretty sure sunburned, which didn't help in the future after the sun went down, and in normal desert fashion, the air got super cold. Because science. So yeah, he then started shivering because he was warm from his sunburn, and then now is cold from the air. All that just to pass the time as they made their way through about 12-hour trip to Ahkasai, where they were all stricken. They were all mesmerized by the size and the structure of Ahkasai, as it's a four-tiered city with walls on the bottom, walls surrounding the bottom, and three separate floating islands on top of each other above it. All not all as one piece, but like segmented with different layers and different levels in that. But they had three distinct tiers on it. That just got Gnome Face even more excited, as you could obviously tell it's being held up by magic, and yeah, that's enough to get him going as of currently. Um, Gale and Wilhelm were just making, or not Gale, Sven and Wilhelm were just making their way, and I think Gale was just looking forward to a bed for the night.
Yes.
Um,
I want to rest.
I believe you guys went to an inn and slept, or not? I think you guys just went into the base level, and then the Colton and the caravan brought them to the inn that's there normally for people who's just arriving, because it's a fair trip, or the people just about to leave. So they stayed there, and we'll pick them up in the morning. Right now. So yeah, if you guys are okay, we'll start in the morning after you guys went to bed.
Sounds good to me.
So yeah, in terms of the picture, we are on the base level. I couldn't find any good pictures of what I was picturing Ahkasai to look, so we're gonna essentially just play it off the base level and go from there. It'll be a lot of imaginary or imagery parts. So use your imagination for the upper levels. I'll probably try to do some more digging for next week.
Well, if there's no further ado, these are the initial lodgings that we requested, I assume, for passing adventures. That doesn't change my routine. I'm pretty early to rise, so if nobody has any plans, I'll probably be the first to get up.
Yeah, so they're just the ones that the caravan suggested you stay at, because it was really late by the time you guys got here, and probably not a good idea to explore a city you don't know in the middle of the night. So that's essentially why you end up here.
Maybe that's a good way to get familiar with the guards.
Um,
That too.
where are we? Could you click again?
Um, I'd say like this is like it's a giant hotel. I'll put some text on it. Yeah, we'll just say a giant hotel with uh like a plaza in the middle of it.
Okay, there it is. Little heddle. Okay.
That's how they say it here.
Bear with me, I couldn't actually see what I was typing.
It was tiny. And I wish you could set the text color to RGB where it would just like cycle through the rainbow.
That'd be neat.
Right.
Or obnoxious, depending on how it's utilized.
Well, I mean, if it's for a point of interest, you can't miss it.
True. That'd be great for like a casino or a club.
Right. So Gail, yeah, I guess you're up first. What do you want to do today?
Okay, first I have to ask some meta questions. Was there anything I needed to do in Ahkasai to report, the quest progress to any officials?
Quest progress, no, but there is a reason why you came to Ahkasai in the first place.
Sure, Gale knows, but I forgot. What did I come here for?
You're supposed to communicate with the rulers of the kingdom and deliver them a letter that's in your pocket that was given to you by the king of Brockheart.
The rulers of Ahkasai need a letter from the king of Brockheart.
Well, you have a package, but it's kind of smaller. But yeah,
Am I savvy on the contents of the package?
well, I mean, they're trying to set up a trade route with Ahkasai. You're the one delivering the message.
Okay. Yeah, okay. And then this quest for Zon was kind of just like help make that trade route clear while also helping out Zon and Quotith and establishing a good rapport with the knights there. Okay, okay, it's all coming back to me.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm not familiar with Ahkasai. Um, I'll wake up my two young knights and have them accompany me in trying to find a representative or guidance towards representative for Ahkasai. So I walk out my room, I walk down the hall, I walk towards the rooms of my knights.
Are you trying to wake the knights up, or are you going to wait for them downstairs? Sorry, I missed.
I'll wait for them downstairs. That's more reasonable.
Okay. I mean, downstairs, there's a. You have a if you want to go grab some food first. There's some alternate options. It's kind of like there's if you think of more of like a 4 or 5 star hotel, where you have like the hotel part, and then you have like the restaurant inside the hotel, but then you also have like that third section that's kind of like used for convention center. It's like a convention center type thing. So like it's not all in one, or not like a tavern. It's actually kind of like a big deal. So
Wow. It's a whole shindig and a bit above my head to analyze. I just go towards where I know for food.
yeah. So you make your way to the restaurant. The one of the hostess, greets you, says good morning, sits you down at a table. Would you like inside or outside?
I'll do inside. I want to be able to see my knights as they wake up.
That's not, you could either way, but all right, she sits you down in a nice table on the inside, gives you some specials and goes and gets you some drinks. And some food. I'm assuming you would pick something and she'll go get it while you wait, unless you just want to wait to eat until they get there.
I'll wait to eat. I'll read my knight's handbook in the meantime.
All right, you're feeling more nightly as you wait.
Yes. This feels good. In tune with my nightliness.
Anyway, yeah, some time passes. She brings you a drink or whatever. I'd say about this time, the knights would wake up, start making their way down. Anybody else want to wake up at the second phase or second wave?
Yeah, I'll wake up.
All right.
Sure.
You both wake up. You can do what you want in your room, and then you kind of you're like leaving your room, and the knights are like walking out as well.
I also want to I want to check before I leave. I know I did some enchanting of these basic daggers that I've been picking up, but honestly, on my sheet, didn't write down how many were actually enchanted. I wanted to sell them for some extra coinage. So, meta-wise, how many are you going to give me that are enchanted?
If you didn't write them down last session, that's a 0.
Huh?
I said if you didn't write them down last session, that's a 0. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're a jerk.
No, I don't know. How many did you do?
I think I did like 4 or 5 before we left. And then I was supposed to do more during the convoy, but I didn't actually word that I was doing it. Like when I was sitting in the caravan doing nothing, I was supposed to do some more. But again, I don't think I actually worded it.
Probably distracted by water elemental shenanigans.
Probably.
And you also read in your book that you said, or one of them.
Yeah, my new enchanting book.
So I'd say for the ones at the Quotith, what's your level?
My regular enchanting level is 3.
And you're just trying to put like a level 1 enchant on it?
Yeah, just a basic durability and sharpness enchantment that I picked up. I'm not doing any elements, just durability and sharpness.
Level 3. All right. So I'd say 80% success rate. So roll 5 D100s if you get above a 20. It succeeded.
4 out of the 5.
Man, I was trying to think of what modifier to give you, but 4 out of 5 sounds good.
So I take what I want to do in my room, which is why I had to get meta, is I want to put my enchanted daggers in my pack, so I have them to barter with, and then throw on my civvy clothes, not my armor, but I want to put my armor in my pack as well, just in case, and also because I have plans, and then head down for some breakfast.
Permission to say or that this is going to visually look weird to other people.
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, so you open your door like at the same time Sven does, and the knights are walking down or walking down the hallway, and so you guys can either do what you want or follow in line single file. I don't care. However you guys
I actually
like
want to approach Gale. I'm not going to be getting food or anything. I'm going to head out to the market, but I do need to talk to Gale before I go to the market. So I want to approach Gale wherever he's at and start up a conversation.
Okay, that's downstairs, but we're in the hallway.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
So if however you want to walk, if you want to walk next to Sven or whatever, the knights are going to walk down the stairs and turn towards the food. Gale, Sven, I don't know if you're going to go towards food, and no
The first person I'm looking for is Colton.
Yeah.
He seems to know what's going on. He was the one who knew that told us that these lodgings were part of the mission, that they were covered by people who sent us. And I would like to ask him if breakfast is also covered and whether or not there's a limit.
He is not up yet. The
Okay.
only ones who are up is Gale. He'll be in the third wave with everyone else.
All right, I'll head down and wait.
So yeah, you can wait at a table. But Gale, you see walking on the steps. You see your 2 knights, and then shortly behind them, you do notice that Sven and Gnomeface are there.
Upon seeing my 2 knights get down, I make a big dumb grin. I get ready, greet them. And I see Sven and Gnomeface, and Sven, obviously he's an adventurer. I try to look more presentable, but Gnomeface, my grin fades, and I try to get absorbed back to my knight's code book. And just wait for my knights to meet me at the table.
I mean, by the time you would have done and expressed that about Gnomeface, the knights would have been at your table. Timing wise, they would have walked down, started walking towards you, and then you followed the other 2 while the knights would keep walking and stuff like that.
All right. Yeah, well, they meet me, and I prepare to order a meal for them, or hail the waitress. I don't know how things work here.
No, I mean the waitress will stop by when she sees other people, but yeah.
All right.
They tell you good morning, boss, or how'd you sleep, and are you happy that we're finally in Ahkasai?
I am ecstatic that we're finally in Ahkasai. It means we're continuing with our nightly quest. Our venture to bring glory to these lands on the behalf of Brockheart is progressing smoothly.
Yes.
Can I chime in when he says that on behalf of Brockheart? Can I chime in?
You may have been, since you were walking towards him, you probably would have overheard that last bit. But you are cutting off one of the knights.
I'll apologize, maybe. I'll think about it. But when he says for the glory of Brockheart, I basically want to chime in and be like, speaking of Brockheart, me and you made a personal deal, Sir Knights. I helped your caravan get here, and now I am going to need the information you promised me.
Well, in pursuit of that promise, you caused me quite a bit of trouble. How about I snap my night bolt shut? I stand up. We meet halfway. And I crack my knuckles. Think you owe me a little fight. A small one.
I kind of grin at him, and a grin showing a lot of teeth. And I go, "You saw my power. Are you sure you want to do this? I will not hold back."
That's precisely why I want this so much. We knights pride ourselves on our power, our might, our ability to uphold the laurels of Brockheart. We can't rely on adventurers alone. Saying you out there, seeing the way you upheld yourself, for the good and the bad, I really need to do this.
Well, I accept your challenge, knight, I say with a little bit of derision. And I do respect your power, I say grudgingly. How about after dark? I have some things I need to do. I will meet you outside the city gates just before sunset.
Very well. This sounds fair to me, adventurer.
At this point, I'm going to say the waitress shows up as she saw other people sit down and whatnot. And she looks at the two of you and she's like, excuse me, but there's no fighting within this establishment. If you want to, you're going to have to go to the arena. If you get caught fighting in the streets, yeah, you'll get kicked out.
Of course, that would reflect very poorly upon the knights. Might you direct us towards the arena?
I also bow, and my attitude almost instantly changes, and I go, "Yes, ma'am, of course. Of course, of course. I would not want to ruin your fine establishment. My girlfriend runs an inn herself. I understand it is not the easiest task."
The guy looks like, yeah. But anyways, the arenas are on the second level. That's normally where you find all the weapons and all the shops. There's one in the middle because people are really anxious to test out the new stuff. You'll find multiple.
Is it free entry?
I probably with purchase. I don't know.
I nod to her again, and I kind of do the whole hat sweep, and I go, "Thank you again for the information, dear miss." And then placing my hat back on my head, I glare at Gale, and I go, "I'll see you before sunset." And then I head out of the inn.
I just want to do the whistle. Wow, 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 wow. I'll see you there, gnome face.
Bless you.
I was coughing, actually. I'm getting over a cold.
Not like a sneeze.
And my child is a walking bag of germs, so yeah, I have a cough.
After sunset, it is.
Before sunset.
Before sunset, it is.
That's funny.
As this interaction comes to a close and Gnome Face starts to walk away, Gail, I'm assuming you sit down, or at least one of the knights will chime in and be like, Sir Gale, is everything okay?
Oh yeah, it's just a bit of night / adventurer rivalry. You'll understand. after a few more years of service. Though we cooperate with adventurers, sometimes there is a bit of friction. Sometimes you have to show them why the knights exist. We are the backbone of Brockheart, not the guilds.
Metawise, you don't. Did he ever tell you that he's part of a guild in Brockheart?
The knight?
No, no
No.
face.
Yeah.
I think I did mention it, yeah, in our first
Okay.
meeting. It was part of my credentials.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
I even
Yeah.
asked him about his guild, and he said pretty much what happened.
Yeah, I told him about Donnie Danger passing and my girlfriend being taken. So that my guild is basically in like shatters right now.
I mean, if anything, your guild's probably healthy because she's there to look over it.
True.
She wasn't taken.
That
She
actually
left
makes a lot of
willingly.
sense. I didn't say she was taken. I said she left.
No, you
Or
said
did I
she
say
was
taken?
taken.
I did
I
say
mean,
taken? My
yeah.
bad. I meant left.
That's questionable. We got I don't know, I don't remember. We got the druid, the ranger who's MIA. We've got the rogue slash sword fighter who's MIA, last seen with pirates. No face here, way across the continent. We got No Face's girlfriend just returning back to Brockheart, so she's the only one there. Donnie Danger MIA. So is the guild really okay?
My only argument was the fact that in most of the time, no one of the guild was actually in Brockheart. But at least now, like, someone is in Brockheart to check in on the place. And I mean, that is very true. Everyone else is. Like, half the people, at least to you, are.
Yeah. It's not looking great.
Then again, I mean, when was the last time you checked in on any of them? So, isn't that your fault or Donnie's fault or No Face's fault?
I think currently Donnie Danger is absolved of all blame.
Currently, Donnie
You
Danger
wouldn't-
may or may not be dead.
You wouldn't know where to point the finger anyways.
Yeah, so the knight ended up chiming up and he goes after that, he's like, well, I'll take notes on that. But shall we go back over the plan for when we're here?
Yes, of course. Plenty of daylight to burn. We should be able to knock this out pretty efficiently. Jog my memory, you know I do get a bit foggy sometimes. We do need to find an Ahkasai representative, right?
Yeah, and I was just questioning what you were saying as we're trying to not necessarily he's like, I don't know how to say it, but we're trying to like create an agreement between Ahkasai and not Gnome Face, like Brockheart, more like we're equals. I just don't want you to think that Brockheart is thinking they're better than Ahkasai or any parts of that.
Oh, I never meant to give off that impression. Just sometimes my pride as a knight seeps through a bit strong. I expect you to foil that if the time requires it.
Gale, what's your wisdom? And about this time, the rest of them start to, the rest of your group starts to head down the stairs.
It is my wisdom is +4.
Okay. Around this time, as you guys are talking, like you may see Sven sitting at a table. No need to enact upon that if you don't wish to, but you can acknowledge his existence there.
Well, he's been pretty quiet this whole time, but I will still, acknowledge him the same I would any adventurer who's helped me and my knights along this way. Say, good morning, Sven.
Top of the
Good to
morning
see
to
you
you.
about.
Do you know if the breakfast here is complimentary? Because this looks like it's outside of my budget.
I lean over towards one of my knights. You know if the breakfast here is complimentary?
And as that happens, the waitress brings their food, and she goes, yeah, the meals are included within your stay.
Oh, excellent.
Being as
Yeah.
you are who you say you are, and she kind of looks at you, Gail.
Yes. Knights and a pack of great adventurers.
At this point, Colton would
have-
walk up to all of you and say hi to the waitress and smooth over all doubts.
And of course, an excellent navigator to boot.
You were not heard by Colton or the waitress.
No.
They're in the midst of conversation. But
Well, there you go, Sven. Complimentary.
Excellent.
I'd say Bartholomew, Bruce probably might sit at a table. Konya probably sit at her own table.
Ah, okay.
She might actually sit with the group, just or the other two, just to chat, since she will not be headed back with you guys at least.
Did Tonya mention that she wanted to stay in Ahkasai?
Yeah, that's part of the agreement. She has plans, or she has family in Ahkasai, so she's going to stay and see them for a couple extra days.
All right.
So she's not joining you for the trip back. But as long as she gets back and you don't, and you say that she fulfilled her end of the deal, then she gets paid.
She did. She helped us. She helped us one shot 2 trolls. I'd say that's a deal fulfilled right there. As long as I'm aware of her status regarding, how we're going about this. Otherwise, we just start going back to Quodev and she's not there. I'd be pretty confused.
Yeah, you know, meta-wise, you know that she's not leaving with you.
Okay. All right, that's fair. I look to the other 2 adventurers. I look to Bartholomew and Bruce, and I just say, "Morning to you 2."
They follow up with good morning and said that Bruce is like, oh, I slept wonderful last night. A lot better than, the cliff that we were on last night.
Ah, yes. Enjoy your time here while you can. For of course, you understand we will have to go back to Quodev in the not too distant future.
When is that again?
I think it's one of those TBD things, but if all goes well, it should be tomorrow or the day after.
I
Right?
mean, that's
Am I
correct.
missing something?
It was going to be 3 days. So, like, you showed up at night, 2 days here, and then leaving in the morning.
Okay, okay, I remember it right.
Because your whole thing is going to take the full day.
Yep.
So the king says you can take an extra day to experience Ahkasai a little bit before heading back.
I have to keep double checking my notes. This is a loosely held together quest.
I do my
Loosely
best.
categorized. Yeah.
Well, apparently it was categorized under escort missions.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess first things we need to do is find a representative for Ahkasai.
Well, going back to the time frame, Bruce replies to you. He's like, okay, so we're leaving from here in the second morning then.
Yes.
All right, cool. Got plenty of time to bounce around the place. And he goes back and sits down, waiting for his food.
Day after tomorrow, second morning. So many ways to say it. All right. Well, I'm glad my adventurers, my fellow travelers, are taking a load off. They fought hard, though I still have tasks to attend to, me and my knights.
True.
If there is no further ado, I will inquire as to the whereabouts of an Ahkasai representative.
So you guys are eating, and then we'll go to Gnome Face since he left right away.
Sounds good. So yeah, basically, I'm heading for the shops. I heard she said that the shops are by the arena on the second floor, so I know I have a general target of the second area, and that's where I want to go.
So are you gonna ask about going up there, or are you kind of just gonna start walking and find out for yourself?
Well, if I see a guard or anything that's not like, obviously I'm looking for signs. I'm not opposed to asking for where I need to go, but I figure they're all floating islands. I'm heading towards the second lowest flowing island and seeing if there's a way up.
Roll a perception check.
Yeah, I can do. It's wisdom, right?
Correct, like normal.
Yeah. 14.
All right.
I never claimed to be normal.
I didn't say you're not normal. I said your campaign is not normal.
I never claimed to be normal. Neither did my campaign. Who likes normal? Normal's no fun.
What is happening?
I tried to make a joke and he's not having it. Anywho, you step outside the inn, the hotel, and you kind of just like look around, trying to pick out like where you are. You know, store that in your mind so you know how to get back here, what's going on, and you actually see like one spherical looking like beam that's going from this level to the next level towards the middle of this like city. You can't make out it, you can't make out what it is, but you see no like couple different things like moving in different paths towards it. Actually,
I head towards the strange beam.
With the pair of beams.
I head towards the strange beams.
All right. Just because you're looking at something, it will be
I'm
these
looking at
ones.
the map. Over here. Bam.
Yeah. So you make your way around the like what looks like the park, the city park, whatever, which is a big oasis. There's a lot going on here. And on one side, there's kind of like a line, but there's some guards, and it looks like there's you come to a point where there's two like towery buildings, not actually like full towers, but like if you think of like a wizard's tower with the point cut off, and instead of the point, you just have like a beam of light going between coming out. So you look at that, and one of them, there's a line going towards it.
Yeah.
And the other one, there's just like all of a sudden, someone just appears and walks out, kind of like a steady flow. Though even the line that you're like approaching is not just like stagnant. It's like people are in like a slow walking pace, but it's consistently moving.
Okay. Well, I get in line.
Yeah, so you get in line and someone approaches you, and they're like, can I see your traveling pass?
I kind of look a little sheepish, and I go, I just got to town with the adventuring party from Quoth, killed some trolls. I was just wandering around looking to see if I could get to some shops.
So you're not a citizen of Ahkasai?
No, sir.
That will be 20 or 10 Floyds to get to the next level then.
Not a problem. Can I pay for a day pass, or do I have to pay each time?
Ah, yes, a day pass. You can go up and down as many times as you like. That will be $100.
Not a problem. I hand over 100.
Um, you do that, and he's like, "May I see your hand?"
I hold it out.
Um, he kind of like rotates your hand so you hold it in front of you like this, and
Mm-hmm.
he holds up a pen, a brush, but without actually touching you. He kind of makes like a little sign and circles it,
Yep.
and you don't feel any differently. But he's like, "Well, there you go. Just present this when you get to the gate, and you're good for 24 hours."
Like a rave tattoo.
Okay.
I don't want to know what
Sounds
you
good.
said, but what I think you said, I don't want to hear it. Yeah, so he moves on to the next person, asking for the pass. You get to the front of the line, and there's a person in front of you. They ask you, all right, get your pass ready. Or get your ticket or pass ready. Hold it up like
I
this,
hold out my hand.
or hold it up across your chest.
I do so.
Or technically, they ask if you've done this before. It would have been a conversation like, do you have your pass or your citizen card, whatever, and then they would be explaining this to you. They're like, all right, hold your hand across the chest, just like this, and you'll be fine.
Okay.
And just walk into the light.
I do so.
So, yeah, you move forward. You're next up, and the person says, "Go," and you walk into the light, and you hold you put your hand like this. As you're approaching, the drawing that he did on your hand that you don't feel, all of a sudden like lights up, and it's probably like a half inch or like a millimeter or a centimeter above your hand. Lights
Okay.
up, and you see like a reflection of that signa on the light. Kind of like opens up. You walk in, and like as soon as you like take a step down and pull your other leg in, you just feel yourself get like hurled and rushed upward. And you're like,
Sweet.
yeah, you. Um, you kind of feel like a elevator that's going way too fast, but like you don't feel like the Mach or the G force of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you
I'm still giddy. I'm like giddy and excited as the magic compels me, and I'm doing everything I can to watch everything that's happening for however long I'm in this thing.
for you, it's probably like 5 seconds,
Okay.
and then all of a sudden you just stop. Not like abruptly, like you're gonna hit your head on the ceiling of the elevator, but like you stop, and the door
Mm-hmm.
opens right in front of you.
Okay. Well, I get out so I don't bother the flow of traffic, but I want to go off into kind of a side area where there's not a lot of flow of traffic. And using a combination of meditation and my mana flow, I want to like target this stamp this guy put on my hand and see if I can sense the magic that's involved in it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm thinking
Oh, okay.
using what and what.
Meditation and mana flow. So like I'm going into my mana networks and sensing the flow of mana and then sending it specifically towards the back of my hand where the mark is to see if I can sense the magic in it.
Roll intelligence.
Five.
You can tell that it is strong magic, but not like permanent. But that's all you really can tell. You can't
Okay.
decipher
If you
what it
don't
is.
mind me role playing, I'm a little too excited with everything going on, and my mana control is kind of fluctuating, and all the mana around me is messing with my meditation, so I really don't get the full chance to really examine the mark. I just get a bare sense of it. So I kind of leave it, and I go back to my explorings, and I actually head back towards the lift to look for a guard and ask where I can buy or sell magical goods.
Yeah, essentially, you didn't get too far. You got out, and pretty much like everyone, you notice with the people behind you, everyone who gets out is like walking. They join the line. There's a lot of people here, so if you're not in like the street, if you're in like the sidewalk, you're fine. There's no vehicles
Mm-hmm.
here, so it's not like the sidewalks that you have to, and then you have to worry about the traffic. No, it's the traffic is the people,
Okay.
at least at this level or the
Mm-hmm.
ground. Um, but yeah, so to get to a guard, it's really quickly, and
Okay.
there's one stationed at this lift, and yeah, he asks you like, "How can I help you?" And
I bow and I go, I'm new to Ahkasai and I have some magical equipment to sell, and I'm also looking to purchase some new equipment for myself. Can you point me in a general direction? And I would prefer to skip, let's say, the tourist shops. If you could send me to more eclectic hometown shops, I would appreciate it.
he looks at you, kind of like he's under the impression that this is a joke. Um, you can sense that off of him, and then you can see his
Mm-hmm.
like he's getting ready to be like, "No, get out of my face," and he like turns it into like, "Oh, this person's being serious." And
Mm-hmm.
it was yes, sir. There's not really any rhyme or reason unnecessarily these shops, but this entire tier is entirely shops. I would say the ones that are located near the arenas around are more focused on equipment and spells because they can practice inside the arenas,
Okay.
but that's the best I got for you.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. I'll head towards the arena first because I want to get rid of my equipment and buy some new stuff before I actually go try to learn any spells.
Okay.
I bow my head again and I toss him 5 Floyds for the information. And then I head out.
He says, "Thank you very much, but honestly, you didn't have to. I hope you find what you're looking for."
What are you
Donnie,
grappling?
I'm not I'm
I
not giving you
was
that nat
trying
20.
I was trying to rearrange my macros. I accidentally clicked on the roll, so I'm getting my good rolls out of the way quick.
I noticed that would have been great for our arena battle.
I know, right?
He just grappled the heck out of his breakfast.
Squeeze the shit out of that sandwich.
I am pissed. There we
Yeah.
go. There's my good roll.
Okay, so I head to the shops. First, I want to look for a basic weapon shop with that advertises enchanted gear, so I can try to pawn off my blades.
We'll get back to you.
Okay.
Sven and Gale, or which one do you want to go first?
Unless Ben has anything pressing, I kind of do want to figure out this Ahkasai deal. So I'll go
Oh, I
first.
was just gonna, order my breakfast, eggs, toast, bacon, that sort of thing. And also 5 pounds of alfalfa and a couple pounds of red clover.
I'll let Sven go first.
Since breakfast is complimentary,
Oh, Wilhelm.
and Wilhelm is as much of a part of the crew as anyone else.
She kind of looks at you and was like,
I don't give him clover all the time, but he's been pretty good this trip.
It was used as bait.
"Yeah."
Well, he was planned to, but then he didn't.
She kind of looks at you like twice and was like, "So we don't have the alfalfa or clover, but at the end of this, I can give you a coupon, and you can head over to the farm. They probably have some stock."
Much appreciated. Thank you.
So yeah, you guys eat, and then whoever wants to go
This
first.
also reminds me, I forgot to ask about goat lodging. I imagine this hotel is not goat friendly, being
They've
as
seen
fancy
worse.
as it is.
As long as you clean up after them, pretty much you were told, as long as you clean up after them, they could care less. Which means if your pet dragon blows a hole in the side of the building, as long as you can fix it before you leave, you're fine.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of cleaning up to do. I do not think he's trained for staying indoors all that much.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
All right, Gail.
All right.
What do you want?
I need to find a representative for Ahkasai. Do I know where, meta-wise? Does Gale know where?
I'd imagine someone would have told you, but if you
I feel like someone would. There's been a lot of things that happened on this quest that has surprised me.
let's say you just forget, and Colton is a man of knowledge, so you decide to go ask them.
I've gone to him every time I've been lost so far. So yeah, let's go to Colton.
Yeah, so Colton's eating at this point. He's eating up at the bar though, and you approach him.
Oh.
How do you want to start the combo?
I mean, is he stuffing his face?
He is. Well, I mean, he's eating.
I'll just approach and sit down in the seat next to him and just say, Colton, when you have a chance, I have a question.
Sorry, so you said hi to him. So he was not stuffing his face, but he was eating type thing. More casually, just chatting with the people. You can tell that he knows them quite a bit. Would you ask him, or how do you start it?
Colton, when you have a moment, I have a question regarding an objective within the city. I need direction.
Oh yeah. How can I help you? I know this city decently well.
Where's the nearest station of office for a representative of Ahkasai?
He kind of looks at you like you have to be more specific. What terms is this for?
As pertains to how do I word this? Intercity questing and potential nightly affairs?
I mean, if you're looking for the the leaders of the city, they're up on layer 4. If you're looking for like the different departments running the city, that's probably more on layer 5 or 3.
Oh, very good. I don't want to tell Colton that I have a missive from the king himself. I feel like that's somewhat confidential. So I do plan on taking my way to layer 4, trying to get a meeting with a royal or representative of the royals there.
That's fair.
Okay, I say, well, thank you, Colton. This is very informative. We're on level 4. If so requiring, would I meet a representative there? Just to be very specific.
The guy looks at you, he's like, you're making this very hard by calling him a representative. It's either you're looking for someone particular in Ahkasai or someone in charge of something else. Like a representative, like if you wanted to find a representative of Ahkasai, you would just talk to the Welcome to Ahkasai kiosk.
I suppose I'll keep that in mind.
But who to talk to on level 4? I don't know. I haven't been up there.
Fair enough. Well, I'll take with my day what comes. We have 2 days to get this sorted out anyhow. Well, thank you for your advice, Colton. I'll make my way.
Meta-wise, the Lord of Quoth assigned Colton to you. So he works with higher ups in cities. So if you would have told him I'm looking for the leaders of Ahkasai, he would have been fine with that.
I didn't know that.
Who do you think assigned you Colton?
I guess On the Giant did.
Yeah, or yeah. It was him or the financial person of the city, but either way. There's someone higher up at Quoth.
Okay, well, hey, it's coming back to me now. Hey, Colton, I need to speak to whoever runs this whole darn city. Want to help lead me there?
Yeah, I can bring you to where to go up, but I mean, like I've been up there once, but that's only to check things out. Not really like I was supposed to be up there, but normally when I go to 3, not necessarily 4.
You go to
But
3, not 4? Would you mind accompanying me? Just, make this a little bit more seamless?
yeah, I can bring you there once I'm done eating.
Fair enough. We got all day.
Um,
I just say to my knights as they're there, you guys want some water, some drinks? So we have some time to chill out.
I mean, they didn't wolf down their food as fast as you did, so they're probably still eating.
All right.
Just because we all know how fast Gil has been eating.
Yeah, I know. I'm so eager to get to the next mission.
So I guess so. Sven, after you're done eating, you're gonna head to the farm.
Yeah, gonna get some breakfast for Wilhelm.
Okay.
I'll make sure to clean up before I leave.
So, yeah, the server comes back and cleans up your plates and gives you the coupon. Like, yeah, here's the head to the farm. It's the grassy area on I'll say the south of this map, the one with the building on it. Yeah, she say, hey, yeah, just present this and tell them what you need, and they'll get you what they can.
Awesome, I'll head out.
So you're looking for someplace to sell your swords and armor, right? Or daggers.
My daggers and armor, yeah.
So yeah, you're walking through, you see a whole bunch of shops, couple spells, couple weapon shops and armor shops.
Mhm.
You kind of just like randomly, like you're walking through, you're like, yeah, let's just go in this one.
Okay.
At this point, like you go up to the counter, you activate the NPC. This hi, can I help you? And the HUD pops up, and you look to sell the swords or daggers.
Yep. I first go in to sell, and I throw in my 4 enchanted daggers, as well as my fitted plate mail, and I look at the price he's willing to sell.
Is it 100 to 1 for gold to Floyd's, right?
I don't know. You changed it to Floyd's. I was copper, silver, and gold. You
know what
wanted
you were. Oh, it's times
you
5.
wanted a 1 unit metric.
It's times 5 for the worst kind. Okay. Yeah, you get offered like 15 Floyd's per both
Per
all the
enchanted
daggers.
dagger?
15 to 20. Yeah, I forgot they had 2 enchantments.
For an enchanted dagger.
And then the plate mail. Oh, I didn't look at that one. That's an armor, not weapons. That was full plate. Oh, I don't have fitted plate on here.
Fitted was a specialty that we did because of my size.
Yeah, so that's 7,500 Floyd's.
That's more reasonable. I look to see if there's a trade one where I can look at his merchandise versus my merchandise and try to balance that out.
To see like the do you like reference the costs or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Or trying to get it net even?
Like, well, even or for me taking away an appreciation with getting what I want at the same point. So I'm sitting at 80 for the daggers, and so 7,580 Floyds right now if I were to just sell. And I want to see what he has to sell to see if I can get some of the stuff I want, or if I should just sell and go, or if I should go check another shop.
Okay. Well, I guess what are you looking for, and I'll tell you prices.
Well,
I'm not going to list off everything he has for you to pass.
no, I get it. Hold on, sorry, I'm chewing. I want a robe to replace my armor. I would like it with at least 1 to 2 AC if I can, but I'm mainly looking for enchantments that boost magic attack or magic accuracy. I also would like to see some higher quality weapons to, like, basically take the 20 Floyds from the enchanted dagger to see if I can buy basic swords for that much so I can enchant them and then sell them. So like an even 20 to 20 to try to upgrade so I make more profit on my next sale.
Gotcha. Okay. So in terms of the daggers, do you know what quality dagger they were?
Basic. I didn't buy anything but basic. I didn't buy poor. I bought basic.
That changes stuff. That would have been useful. Okay, yeah. So basic unenchanted is 20 a pop.
Okay.
They're about with the 2 enchants, I would say like 26 a pop. For Oh, sword is martial weapon. Short sword, a basic one, is 100 a pop.
Damn.
Long sword is 150. Dagger, the next tier up is 24 a pop. So if you bought the 4, you would gain 2 points on it. But they're unenchanted. So you could enchant them.
Mhm.
Try to go back that way.
I think I'll buy the one sword for 100. That actually leaves me with 4 Floyds extra. And then I can enchant that sword and sell it along with some of the daggers I currently still have. So I think that would be the best bet for me. Basic
Short sword, yeah.
sword. 1. So I'll do that. And then I also, like I said, I want to look for a robe set with at least 1 AC, but with at least 1 AC and enchantments towards magic damage and or accuracy. And see how much that would run me.
The only thing I have on here is quilted cloth, which, oh, I mean, that is, I don't think that's a robe. Let
I
me get
mean, I
back.
guess it could be.
I was just seeing if there's anything in our equipment for robes. In terms of, I'm just gonna say, so I can have some more time to think, that this person does not sell robes. They're
Okay.
more of a melee shop, not a magical shop.
Okay. Well, then I finish out the expense for the daggers versus the swords and take the 7,500 for the plate mail.
Okay.
So I get an additional 7,504 added to my Floyd's.
What quality was that?
The short sword?
No, the full plate.
My full plate is fitting good quality.
That's quite a bit more.
Oh, okay.
You're looking at 20.
Nice. So add 13 to it. Nice. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Being it's fitted and full plate mail and good quality. So I remembered that that's why Johnny bought himself into bankruptcy.
Enchantments are expensive.
Just higher quality, it gets expensive quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you go around and then where are you headed after this one? Sorry.
Well, since I need a magic store, I look for that.
Okay, you find a couple different ones. You find some that are, more geared toward or more towards spells and stuff. Find some more that are more towards like just the weapons. And you find some others that are towards the armor.
I look mainly for armor.
Yeah, you out there. You find an armor one. I'm gonna say the pricing for like it is more like half plate. I'd guess, and you get
Okay.
1 enchantment on it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take the enchantment for added damage if I have a choice.
I want to say 10%, but I feel like that might get too
Complicated? I was more looking for like a +1 or +2 or any sort of damage boost.
No, I was gonna say too powerful.
Oh, good, yeah.
I'll go 5%. And if we look at the cost of half plate, a good is 7,200.
5%.
Yes.
MD magic damage. Okay, so 7,500. 28,324.
Plus with the enchantment on it, I'd say about 8. Let's see, an 8.
3, 4 minus 8,000. Okay, I'll take it. Does it have an AC? Hopefully, because I was hoping for an AC.
Oh, the robe itself gives you +2.
+2. Okay. Good to know.
I think to be determined, but we'll go with +2 for now. So I
okay.
figure out what your AC is.
It puts me at 16. A +2 would put me at 16.
That's fine for now.
Then
Just
I
make sure
want
you
to
mark
go.
it on your character sheet.
I did.
Okay.
I'm changing all this as we're talking. I even changed my gear and everything already. Well,
the last couple
I want to
times
look
I've
for.
looked and you guys didn't have where your AC came from. And so I forgot how I gave you guys AC. Just thought I'd throw it out there.
Oh yeah, just got a bunch of modifiers on there.
I confused myself.
I want to look for. Amulets and accessories next.
Roll a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Nat 20.
All right. I'll give you the option on this one.
Okay.
You notice as you're going through, because like the amulets are going to be not near the arenas. They're going to be off a little bit, kind of like with books and stuff. We're like across the street, and that you make it on your way down, and you like end up like looking down the alleyway, and you can tell that there's a shop down there, but like there's like a little, beat up sign on the above the alleyway, and you're like, what is that? And it looks like it has like more of a magical weapon type of thing. It's got magic and it's got like a sword on it. But you are personally, you feel very enticed to go down there, but you also have a mission at hand. So you have the option. Do you want to say, hey, I want to stick to my path or my mission? Or do you want to follow? Can I finish before you interrupt me? So you have two options. You can either stick to your plan of like, okay, now I need to get amulets. You have a shopping list essentially. Or do you want to give in to the strong feeling inside of you and go down?
I give in to my base urges. Ooh, shiny magic. I immediately turn.
The building does not look shiny or magical at all.
You said it looked like magic weapons.
The sign had the sign had a picture of like a sword and fireball on it. So it looked like it had both.
Well, still magic. I'm in a magic city, and I do have a goal, but something down a back alley, it piques interest. I turn and I go down.
Okay, I was gonna say if you're saying shiny magic just for that, like you would be going in every store that you passed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you make your way into the store, and the inside does not look too impressive.
Okay.
But all around you, you see like a couple wands. That look like some of them look like they have a dagger attached to the end of it. You see like a
Okay.
sword with like a fireball floating above the hilt, like the crest, the bottom of the hilt. I
Mm-hmm.
forget what that's called.
The guard.
No, the other half, the other
Pommel?
bottom, like where the like emblem or the jewel goes.
Pommel?
Yeah, sure, that. You see, like weird stuff like that, where it literally is some magic and some,
Mm-hmm.
like melee weapons. And as you walk in, like you hear the guard like, "Oh, who do we have over here?"
I pipe up and I go, my name is Gnomeface, good sir. I am a practitioner of the martial arts and the magical arts, though leaning more towards magic at the moment. Your shop sign intrigued me, since it seems to speak to my soul of magic and martial arts.
Oh, martial arts. Are you talking like hands and fists or feet and fists?
Oh, I apologize for the misspeaking, sir. I'm just too excited. No, I use a rapier, good sir. I also have a couple of magical blades myself that I use from time to time, but mainly I focus on my rapier, and I kind of pat my rapier on my side.
Like, ooh, okay. If you fought with hand and foot, I cannot help you. But fighting with a little bit of steel, that actually. Wait, did you say magical swords?
I go, yes, I did. As I said, I practice in both ends. I have two magical blades as well as my rapier.
Yeah, I don't care about your rapier. What do they look like? Like you
What the
have his
heck?
attention to the detail.
Mhm.
You like, yeah, this is my baby. It's my rapier. Like we've gone to thick and thin. He's like, you can throw that in the trash for all I care. You said magical swords, and he wants to see what they look like.
At first, I'm kind of offended, but then, like, I kind of recognize a kindred soul. I see that spark of curiosity for the magic in his eye. I imagine.
More of obsessive, but yes.
Okay, I pull out just the water blade, not both, and I activate it, turning it into its rapier form.
You don't want to leave it as normal form.
No, because I focus on my rapiers, so I activate it into its rapier form.
Like, ooh, is that no? This person, maybe. Hmm. Can can I hold it, or at least can you put it on here? And he pulls out like the normal sword stands or whatever that when they lay flat that are like display pieces or whatever.
Mhm.
So
I go, sure. Yeah, not a problem. I place it on the stand, but I do keep my hand on my rapier, noticing the more obsessive nature of this man. I keep my hand on my cold steel for a sense of comfort as well as I place it on there.
are you letting it go back to its normal form
Hmm.
or default form, I should say?
Yeah, as if I'm not controlling it anymore, I just let it go to default.
Well, you said you were keeping your hand, so I just want to make sure because you have to release the blade in order for it to go back to default form. Type of thing.
You may have misheard me. I put the blade on the podium, but I keep my hand on my cold steel rapier next to me on my belt.
Okay, so it is up. You're not. I was hearing that you put it down, but you're leaving your hand on the hilt of it.
No, my hand's on my other blade.
That's fine. So yeah, you put it up there, and you see him. He's looking very intently at it. Because as of right now, like it's the it looks like a long sword, right? But it's like the water is swirling, and it's within its the normal size that it's always been in. When you don't transform it,
Mm-hmm.
and like he's like staring at it intently, and he's like, that's got to be it. And then he like focuses on like the hilt, and like there's
Mm-hmm.
a specific like marking on it when it's in its default state on like the side of like where the blade would be, but between that and the hilt, he's like, He's very intent on it, and he's like, hold on, I'll be right back. And he runs to the back room. 5, 10 minutes, he comes back with a book, all tattered up, and as it open to and he's flipping it open to a page, and he like looks at it. He's like, yes, it's this one. And he's like looking at it, and he goes to he's like, just to make sure, what other things does this transform into? He asked that to you.
Okay. I go. I have one piece that goes with it. I don't have anything else. It looks like it's got a slot for 2 more. It looks like these 2 go together, but I could never make it work without the remaining pieces.
He was specifically asking you what else can the blade transform into.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misheard you. Anything I wanted to so far. I've mainly used it for a rapier because that is my fighting style, but at the same point, I believe I've used it as a longsword. I've also used it as a blunt weapon, and I've been thinking about experimenting with it to boost my elemental capacity, but I haven't gotten to that point yet.
He goes, may I try?
Sure.
You see him like he carefully and cautiously is like picking up the sword, and he's like looking at it intently, and then like he's like holds it up, and you see it go through an array of different weapons, from like an hatchet, an axe, a battle axe, sword, longsword, and it's just cycling through all a bunch of these. And he's holding it, and then like you see him like look down as it's still cycling, and he flips through a page or two, and like all of a sudden like you see the water sword, like the hilt of it starts to like separate into like 4 prongs instead of just the 2. But then it snaps back and becomes a blade again, and he's like, ooh. And then instead he just the blade, instead of being a short sword, kind of falls down to the bottom and creates 2 arcs coming up, and in the middle it's just all of a sudden like a disc starts from nothing and just fills up into the size that's like being held by the 2 prongs, and you see him like point to this like something in the ceiling, and a disc of water just shoots out, and you think it's gonna like just make a huge noise as it hits whatever's on the ceiling, and it kind of like falls apart before it gets up there, and just water falls down. And he
I'm a
looks at
little
it.
shocked. So when he starts, firing off my own weapon, I do like kind of knock my rapier up a couple inches on the sheath, ready to draw just in case. But I don't fully draw it because I get entranced by the magic of the water spiraling down, and I go, "Holy cow, man! How'd you do that?" I've got another one. Can you make the other one do that too? And I fumble for my fire sword, and I put that up there as well.
He like he looks a little defeated, and he puts the blade down, and he's like, sadly, the water sword is the easiest one to like sync with, and as you saw, I failed a couple times at more of the advanced things. I do not have the synergy of the magic for it. So as you get higher up in the levels of these, they they require more and more synergy with magic.
Understood, understood. I will definitely start working with these more. I kind of eyeball the book he was going through, and I go, "Does that book tell you where the other 2 are?" Like, I'm pretty sure there's a way I can combine them if I have 4.
He goes, yes. The Well, technically only 3. The fourth one, the page has been ripped out, but that was before it ended up in my hands.
I curse and I go, damn, nothing can ever be easy in this world. But then I smile and I go, that's why I love it here. And I go, do you mind, how about this? You seem to have a lot of good gear around here. I'll make a deal with you. I'll make a barter with you. If you have any accessories, anything I can wear that'll help boost my mana regeneration, I will purchase them from you. And then you can provide me with the information on the location of the third piece of the blade, if that suits you, sir. Like, I'm starting to regain the composure I normally try to keep myself under. So, like, trying to talk more cordial like I normally do instead of the kid coming out of me.
Yeah, I wasn't done, but since you said any of that, I was just trying to think of how to spin it back through on how he was talking.
Oh, sorry.
He goes, actually, I have a different idea. If you show me that you have the synergy, you say you have the second one, but we'll see if it's a real deal. If you have the synergy of these first two, that's enough for me to provide you the location of the third one. But
Well,
only if
I
you
did.
promise to show me the fourth one once you find it.
That's a deal. And I did place the fire blade on there when I was freaking out over the water blade, so I just grabbed the handle of the fire blade and I put it to my known forms because he didn't really tell me how to do the water disc form. And then I hold my hand out for the water blade one and ask him to give it back to me and show that I can control both blades. I'm only level 1 with both of them, but I do have some uses in them.
Okay, specifically, he put the water blade down, and 2, he was about to tell you what to do with each of the blade before you grabbed up the fire blade.
Well, you gave me a task. I'm trying to complete it.
For cinematic expression.
You should know, after the 7 or 8 years we've been playing D&D, if you pause while talking to me, I answer.
Man Bear does not let my villains monologue at all.
Not a bit.
That's fair, but I'm saying he looks a little impatient with you now.
I'm not going to
Also,
complain.
because
No
you're asking for the water blade when it's obviously sitting on the table. Because he was going to tell you, start with the water blade, since that's the first basic level, and then move to the fire sword.
I didn't hear you say he put the water blade down. I thought he was still holding it.
So he goes to, he specifies, okay, so we're going to start with the water blade, and please wait until I give you the mark. So this one should have been found being protected by a water princess. It was signed there or whatever. Essentially it was assigned under her care. And it doesn't, those who help the water princess have a chance of acquiring this one. Can you go through each of a variety of martial weapons just as a start?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I guess you do so. And he follows it up.
Follows instructions.
He goes, okay. Now, he like shows you the book, and he's like, and it kind of gives you like a description on like what to think when you're trying to do this. And he's like, make the water disc shooter, essentially.
Okay,
and
so he teaches me how to do it.
That's just sure. We'll go with sure.
Okay.
And so you do it, and you shoot the thing that he was aiming at, and it makes a nice little ding, but then it breaks apart, or the water disc breaks apart. And the guy goes to, he's like, all right, now try to enhance that and make a spear shooter where you split the hilt split and become 4-pronged.
I concentrate, following what he's been teaching me so far, and I try to kind of put my mental influence into it and separate it out into 4 prongs.
I mean, you saw what he was trying to do beforehand, so you pretty much picture that, and you tell your mana to tell the blade to do that, and it does. It separates into the 4, and so it looks like a cross. And then just like the disc came out, you had 4 different arcs or curls, whatever you want to say, and it makes like instead of a disc, it's a sphere. And you do it again, and it makes a lot louder sound and a lot more water.
Okay.
And then he asks you to repeat for the fire, like the step by step that he went through.
I do so. I've had the fire blade less time than I've had the water blade, but in all fairness, I've used both of them about equal amounts of time.
Okay. Do you have any particular things you want to do while you're doing this, or like?
I want to, while I'm doing what he's telling me to do, I also want to kind of sense the flow of my mana connecting to the blade and feel if I can also pass more specific mana into it. Like, say, when I'm testing the water blade, I want to feel if I can pass my spark into it and increase and add electricity to the water damage. And with my fire blade, I want to see if I can pass my earth mana into it and make it more molten. If I can, it's just a try, basically.
You don't know whether or not you can yet.
Okay.
But this practice has made you more aware of how your mana reacts with the water blades, or with the magical blades, and how it's not just like a blade that you're holding that it just transforms. Like you feel like there's mana flowing into it, but then also back out of the blade. So it's like kind of like a charge up and then a release back up your arm. Charge up and then release, like if you're shooting something like that. So it's not like a constant like outgoing flow. It's kind of like a lung, like it's like pulling a lot and sending back real quick. Pulling a lot slowly, sending back real quick.
Okay.
Anyways, the shop owner is just mesmerized at this point. He's like, and as he's watching this one, he kind of like names off the location of like the second one, and it goes along the lines of underneath a both like or in the edge of the mountains, through the puzzled lands or through the puzzled caves, sitting upon a altar deep on the darkest cave. It kind of makes you like the first one he read to you. I don't know if I'm gonna say you've noticed this, but it kind of makes you like question, because you remember getting that it was given by Ariel, and you're like, wait, is she a princess? And then this one,
I was
you're
actually
like,
thinking about that. Yeah.
Gnome Face is thinking like, all right, we didn't find it on the altar, and you're trying to think of if you remember seeing an altar of something similar inside the caves that you found. I think it was the Zaptarian catacombs, right? Like, you're not really sure if you remember seeing like the one specific altar, or maybe there was like an altar room that had a whole bunch of them.
Okay.
And then he like, yeah. So he says he's reading that page off as this is going on, and he kind of looks at like the third one, and he's like, the stone sword. Yeah, we'll go stone. The stone sword. Deep beneath the city amongst in the desert, where life is or prosperous. Go to the bottom of the sun or of the deep well. Lodged in the wall. It shall forever remain.
Good.
And he's like, that actually is the reason why I'm here. Trying to figure out where to. When I moved here, I was trying to figure out where on earth this would be, because there's no. There wasn't a particular well. It was just the oasis. The oasis was only so deep. But
I look at him and I go, "Are we allowed to explore the oasis, or is any part of it guarded per se?"
Oh, it's a the equivalent of a national park.
So, like, they don't mind if we go for a swim?
Depending.
Good to know. Good to know. I bow my head to him. I go, though we did not agree to my terms, I am still in the market for some good quality accessories. Would you perchance have any, sir?
He's not listening to you right now. He's
okay.
deep in thought after reading that last page. And like he barely even said anything to you when you asked him the question. And he kind of like walks over to the edge or to like the wall. And you see that there's actually like a ladder there. It's like leaned up against the wall. It's kind of like one of those in the bookstore or like a library. And you see him kind of like slide it over, you know, knocking over a bunch of stuff when he does so. And like turning on a light switch or something of that nature. And there's a whole bunch of you know, light that travels up and around. And all of a sudden it illuminates something on, you know, the back wall. And it's looking very similar to your other two swords, except it's made out of stone.
I go to it?
Yeah, how?
You said it was up a ladder, right?
Well, I mean, the ladder was on the back wall, but you're still about like 3 feet short.
Ah, fuck me.
Hey, you're the one who decided to be a gnome.
I know. It bites me in the ass every now and then. Give me a second. I restocked my water supplies. So I got an idea. My floating shield. I cast my floating shield spell and step on it like a stepping stone. I've done that before.
Okay.
I float myself up.
Your shield explodes below you. You take 2 damage of shrapnel, 2 piercing shrapnel damage, and you fall to the ground.
WTF, mate? Let's see. I gotta actually put my health on in here.
No, you don't. Just don't do something stupid again.
How is that stupid?
He's in the middle of his thoughts, and it obviously looks like this is his prized possession. And then he sees you floating up on a shield to go grab it.
You didn't say he see me. You said he was off doing his jazz.
No, he specifically lit up the thing himself. He flipped a switch, and he moved the ladder to get up there. And you took that as an opportunity to utilize it and try to take it.
True enough. I was a bit impulsive. I kind of get off the ground and brush myself off, and I go, sorry. but isn't that the Earth Sword?
He still hasn't heard. He still's not listening to you. He's still like in his thoughts. Like you can tell that like he's been waiting his entire like I'd say about half his life to see the water and the fire sword at the same time, or see at least 3 of these. He's been waiting his whole life to see them at the same time.
Okay. So he's not listening to me, but he's blowing up my shield, and the Earth Sword is literally right in front of me. This is gonna be a pain in my ass.
Or you can just wait for 5 minutes.
Okay, you didn't give me an option to wait. You're like, look, shiny stone sword.
Yeah, I was narrating. And then I said, hey, look, shiny stone sword. And you're like, I'm going to grab that. And I told you were too short. You're like, I'm going to get it one way or another. So I made the guy blow up your shield.
Yeah, totally did.
So
oh, wait.
as I can continue. Yeah, he after the thing becomes illuminated, he slowly walking up the ladder, like repeating. It sounds like he's repeating stuff from the book.
Mm-hmm.
And he grabs like the stone sword thingy, looking on the top of the wall, and he like walks on the ladder, and your 2 swords are there on the counter, and he kind of lays his the 3rd one down next to them, and a lot of what feels like magic just starts rushing through. Like the door swings open, there's a lot of wind coming through. Like where you're standing, you feel like a rumble, like pretty much any like natural disaster feeling happens for like a little bit. And you personally being attuned to magic, like the magic inside of you is feeling like all of this is caused by like magic flowing from the world into like towards these blades. And
Okay.
then all like calms down. And he kind of looks at you. He's like, "This is the stone sword that was located here in Ahkasai. It's the first one I could find, but this was the closest one I've been to. I had no idea I couldn't find where to look for the other 2. But this is this is the one that was hidden in the bottom of the oasis, or as they said, well, that magic you felt, that's just gonna get even stronger for every time you reunite one of these blades with their sisters. It's the more blades together, the stronger it becomes."
I'm a little giddy, but I'm also a little cautious. I mean, the guy did just blow up my shield. I look at him. I go, "What do you want for it?"
He kind of looked confused. He's like, I thought we went over that already."
No, you told me you would tell me the location of the stone sword, which you did. You didn't say you had it and you were going to give it to me.
Oh, well, I told you all I wish to seek. All I wish to see. And it involves this. The first thing you have to do is show me that you are worthy of it. Because he like picks it up, and you can see that it's like its default state, just like all the other ones. Although this one looks, instead of flame swirling or water swirling, it's just a rock.
Yeah.
And he tries to, like, you see it try to go from like even just a long sword to like a dagger, and it just snaps back to the normal.
I put my hands out and I go, "If I may," and I try to give if or when he hands it to me, I try to channel my mana through it. I don't go right to disc or sphere. I start with a shape I know, and I try to go for a rapier. But I do try to make more of an obsidian tip on the rapier instead of just straight rock to see if I have even that much control of it.
I don't know if you can go as far as obsidian right off the bat, but I mean, you get like the tip looks different than the rest of it. Like you made it a stronger tip than anything else.
Okay, I'll take it. After that
Isn't
succeeds,
obsidian like a mixture between fire and rock?
it's lava rock.
Yeah.
It's
So
cooled down magma.
yeah, you can't get that without fire.
Um, with that succeeding, I attempt to go for a couple more regular shapes before attempting to do the sphere. Not really with my hopes up, but with a lot of concentration, really channeling my focus mana skill to really try to connect to the blade as I try to at least get the first stage that he showed me.
Roll a d20 with the magic sword ability.
I don't have a magic sword ability.
Well, have I been making you keep track of each one of these separately?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh.
Each one has a different level.
Well, then add the levels together
2.
for now.
13.
I'd say you can get the disc, but not you try to get to the sphere. And it kind of breaks.
Okay. Well, I get to the disc. I don't launch it, obviously, because, yeah, that would probably be bad. So, but I do form this sphere, and I show him, or the disc, and show him that I can do it
Because
before.
he tells you have to launch it, because if you remember back to the water one, his disc was halfway there before it fell apart.
Well, if he's not so worried about it, I'll launch it.
That no damage is done to the thing you've been shooting at all day. But it makes it there.
Okay. I bow my head to him. I really do respect his curiosity for the blade, though this has been a very weird thing, a very weird experience, and kind of like, but he did just gift me a really good blade. Um, I'm gonna stop trying to buy shit from him though, and tell him that I will see him if and when I find the fourth weapon, as promised, and I just kind of depart from his store.
All right. As you're leaving, he knows that you've known a bit about them, but like as you're walking out the door, he's kind of calling to you and like looking forward to it. I'll tell you how to fuse them once that happens.
I kind of raised my hand and waved to him. Meta question. I've been using them in rapier form mainly because, like I said, it's my skilled weapon, but also because I know the damage is, a D6, I believe, or D8. What is going to be the damage of using them in disc or sphere shape, since I won't be using a straight weapon form for damage bases?
It'll probably fall under more like a fireball. A firebolt.
So D8. That's for both of them? Disc and sphere?
Probably the disc would be a D6, but the sphere would be a D8.
Gotcha. Just want to put it in my notes so I know. Okay.
All right. So yeah,
yeah.
you leave feeling very satisfied and a little impatient because that took longer than you were hoping. But you're feeling very good about yourself because you now have found the stone blade or the earth blade. So you
Yeah,
set
I
on
do.
off to do what you do next. Which one of the other two, Sven or Gale, want to go next?
Sven, go.
All right. So I arrive at the farm, looking for, if I remember correctly, it was 5 pounds of alfalfa and 2 pounds of red clover as a treat.
Yeah. The farmer looks and he's like, how will you be paying for this?
I present the coupon.
And he goes, oh, you're helping out the royalty, eh?
Yeah.
Hey, well, good of you. It's a great place here. Yeah, come on over. You can bring your goat. We have a nice little feeding area that you can, unless you want to take it with you, but ours is pretty comfortable. If you want to just bring them over and we can go grab it real quick.
I'll take it to go. I've got places I gotta visit, but I do appreciate the hospitality.
Yeah, well, all right. And kind of like brings it over and like in a cart. Like the Wilhelm has the cart on him, right?
Yeah.
So then he transferred it to the cart on Wilhelm. Like, I hope he enjoys that clover. It's a pretty special stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's his favorite. But it's sort of like candy, you can't have that all the time as much as he wants it.
That's very true.
But yeah, then it's off to find a botanist, apothecary, or alchemist, possibly all the same guy.
I was worried about that. Um, yes. I don't think you'll be able to take Wilhelm up, though. Not with the cart, at least.
Yeah, it's hard to get the hand stamp on a hoof.
No, you might be
I
able to
get
take
it.
Wilhelm, but not pulling the cart. The cart kind of has to stay down.
All right.
Wherever you want to put it.
I mean, I don't see a parking garage here, but I imagine back by the hotel would be a reasonable choice. Do they have valet parking?
I mean, you can see a lot of like states and everything over there. Kind of look like more of a. Actually, no. For this one, I'll just say that yeah, there's a stable hand that kind of like goes to grab, like, hey, you dock in your goat. He like goes to
No,
grab
just
the goat.
no. He's with me. I'm just leaving the cart here.
Oh, um, okay. Um, are you paying for this up front, or are we billing your room?
Uh, why don't you bill my room?
Okay.
I think that'll be easier.
What room number? And you tell them the room number and everything. Like, all right,
Yeah.
I'll have that covered under there.
All right. Appreciate it.
I drop like a peanut, and I keep like my foot keeps hitting it. Okay. Yeah. So at that moment, uh, you do you wish to head on or try to head on up to the next level?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Your passive perception is high enough that you see that the two beam towers or whatever. Um, and the kind of the same way that or the same thing that Numpe saw. Like you have one that people like are just like appearing in it and like walking out, and the other one like there's a line that's going nice and quick. Um, and then like so if you're planning on going up, you would jump in the line, and the one person asks for your ticket to go on up.
Uh, uh don't have one. Where's the ticket counter? Where do I get one of those?
I can assign you one. It's a $10 or 10 Floyd trip up.
Seems reasonable. I mean, as far as beams of light go, I don't really have any way of gauging whether or not that's a good deal. So sure, 10 Floyd sounds good.
All right. And he's like, all right, hold up the back of your hand. And he does his little paintbrush thing again. And it looks like it gets implanted on your hand, but like you look at your hand, it's not there. And yeah, once again, like you get to the front of the line. The one person asks like, hey, present your ticket. You show him the stamp or whatever. You show him the back of your hand. He's like, first timer here. Am I right?
How could you tell?
The ticket purchase, the person you bought the ticket from said you were first timer. It's on the stamp.
Okay.
And he's like, all right, here's what you do. You walk up, you put your hand over your chest like this. The sigil will activate and it'll open up. Keep your hands and feet inside the beam of light, and when you hit your floor, I'd promptly step out so you don't back up everyone else.
All right. I'll pick up Wilhelm and walk into the tower. I don't know how.
The guy's a little confused. He was more expecting you to like ride Wilhelm in. But you picked him up and he's like,
I mean,
Godspeed.
it's his first light beam. I don't know how he's going to react to this.
He doesn't say anything. He's just kind of like looking quizzically. And yeah, you can notice that's his facial expression and respond that way. And yeah, you guys walk into the beam. Like you see like the kind of what the beam like notices you're up there, the sigil, like you see like the shape that the ticket purchaser put on or painted on your hand. It looks like the beam opens a door to the inside of it and you step in and you get I'm picturing the screaming goat. Yeah, you get launched.
For sure.
But like I said, you don't feel any of the G-force of it. You feel like you're moving fast, but you also feel like you're standing still.
I'm picturing that screaming goat with a Doppler effect.
That's what I was thinking of too. Like everyone going down and singing like or yeah, so you get to the second floor and you just like come to a stop and not like
start walking right away.
Yeah,
Getting out of that thing.
So you walk out, the thing closes up behind you, and yeah, you're in a bustling floor on tier 2.
And
people all around
hand
you.
A sick bag before you get on that thing.
No, well, the people around here are, I guess, are used to it.
I guess. But yeah, I'll look for an apothecary, a botanist. I don't know, dispensary, whatever I can find.
I'd say so. Like the arenas are kind of like placed out. Like if the elevators are kind of more towards the middle, the arenas are placed out like north, south, east, west, kind of like evenly, and the shops closest to those are going to be more of like your melee weapons and like your spells, or like the one, and then the farther away you go from those, that's where you get to your less like effective or like less attacking spells and stuff like that. So that's where you get more defensive stuff, more of possibly your armor, like start to get armors, and then further away than from that, that's where you get to like your libraries and the stuff you're looking for. So you'd be more like northeast, northeast, northwest, and southwest kind of like layout. But yeah. Do you guys want to call it here?
Sure.
With that,
I say it looks like two of you are falling asleep. My brain is falling asleep, so I feel like doing something that's not brain intensive anymore.
Two of us. Who's joining me in the sleepy category?
I mean,
Donnie's
I'm not sleepy, but I am zoning right now.
Donnie's looking like you look like normally. I know normally you're looking at something else, but he's just like off in some other land.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, it's over there. Oh, a wall.
So we could either start with Donnie getting to the second level, or we can just finish off with Sven at the beginning of the next one, and then switch to Donnie for the rest of the
As they
story.
switch.
Sure. Yeah, I could take it up. I could finish.
Wait, what?
Are you talking about next session?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, zoning. Yep, definitely zoning.
I say unless you want to get to the second level, and we can start both of you at the second level, because you'd get there roughly around the same time. Because you're waiting for Colton
Tilly's
to
in
eat.
the same way we are. He's zoning in and out.
So you'd get there. You'd probably go through the elevator on the same time. Or I could just tell you, like, yeah, after that, pretty much Colton walks you through it, or holds your hand as you go through it all, and you all appear at the second level.
Colton kind of just walks us through all of it. Like, I can't think of a lot I'd want to do other than just have Colton direct me in my nights.
Yeah, so because you're with Colton or whatever, you don't get charged. Actually, they just you guys skip straight to the third level.
Right on.
For role playing and funny reasons, as you're going past the second level, you do hear a screaming goat.
Sounds familiar.
You probably would. Like, you guys
Yeah,
are that close to each other.
Wilhelm has a mighty roar.
But yeah, so let's call it there, and then
Sounds like a plan, Sam.
the event with No Face took longer than I was expecting. I was actually going to switch away from you once you started going down the tunnel, but then all of a sudden you were at his counter. I'm like, oh shit, you caught me off guard.
I do that.
All right, everyone. We are gonna call it here and join in next week. Okay, so a little blah blah blah. So our adventure is set out to explore Ahkasai. Gnomeface kind of set off first, not caring about breakfast, and ended up going to a bunch of different shops, and he found his way to an obsessive person about these magical swords that he had two of, and found out that he actually possessed the third one himself. After making a promise with him, the guy graciously handed it over, and Gnomeface now walks out with 3 out of, as he knows, the 4 elemental swords that you need all 4, or that he's trying to unlock the true power of. In terms of the other 2, or so Sven, went out, had some breakfast, is taking very much advantage of the free food or the comped food, I should say, and has gone to get Wilhelm some mighty bit of feed. After that, you fed Wilhelm as much of a breakfast as he got today, and then rode the elevator up to the second, looking for the botanist, apothecist, or dispensary of any sorts to see if they have one here. And likewise, not Donnie Danger, Gale decided to jump on in with Colton as his guide and head on up to the third level. And as he went up there, he heard the mysterious roar of a friendly goat. So join us next week, and where we'll find out how those other two, or how Sven and why do I say other two? How Sven and Gale make their way through the city, and how the battle goes between Gnome Face and Gale.
Spoiler alert, I'm gonna kick his ass.
Spoiler alert, you don't know that.
Oh, I know it.
No, you don't.
Potentially.
I know it.
Oh, you'll see. The tables will turn.
Mm.
Be
The
humble.
turns have tabled.
Okay, I
Oh,
love you
how
all.
the
I can't wait for
turns
the next
table.
one.
I mean, with that grapple roll, if the fight happens at a breakfast table, you're going down Gnome Face.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, but the problem when you grapple a mage is I don't have to aim. I can just blow your face off.
Yeah, good night. Get some sleep. Hey, is that a snazzy
Complain.
gaming chair against that wall?
Yes, I got the gaming chair.
Is that new?
Yes, it's about 2 weeks old.
Ooh, our man bears growing up in the world.
I got sick of playing video games while sitting on my bed, so I got a gaming chair.
Oh, that's fair.
Okay. Talk to
Now
you all later.
Now we just need Donnie Danger to
Get
grow
a
up
computer.
or upgrade his computer, and then we'll be set. All right. Yeah. Okay, man bear. Final words as we head on out.
Like, subscribe, complain, do the do. I need caffeine.
Well, I have a monster. No, I have to go to bed early tonight. All right. Yeah. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Adios,
Have
folks.
a good night.